The budget smartphone industry has boomed in the last 2 years, and that naturally has made a lot of these smartphones indistinguishable. Now, this has also made brands work day in and day out to make their smartphones stand out, and looks like the folks over at Motorola have done just that. This is the Motorola G6 Play, a phone that looks premium and refined and doesn't cost a fortune. Hey, this is Sreehari from Mr. Phone, and this is our full review of the Moto G6 Play. Before jumping into the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and while you're at it, click that bell icon so that you get notified for the videos that we put out. Taking it out of the box, the first thing that you realize, apart from how beautiful it is that it's a smudge magnet. But since we at Mr. Phone always believe in looking at it glass half full, the phone just sticks to your hand and rarely slides out. Continuing that optimism, we fell in love with how that phone feels in hand, sturdy and comfortable to be precise. And as they say, looks can be deceptive, but money sadly can't. And although as bad as we want it to be glass, it's not. Now let me tell you why that's not exactly the worst choice. Although having a glass body would make it a bit more resistive to scratches and would look the same for a longer period, it would have been vulnerable to drops, and further considering the weight glass adds to it, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't survive a standard drop. Now I believe plastic often gets a bad rep. Yes, it scratches easily, but hey, if you won't have to worry about it cracking or breaking at every drop, that's worth the compromise. Furthermore, you are bound to appreciate the minimalistic design approach of Motorola, which Motorola has been known for a long time. This kind of elegance is missing on most budget smartphones these days, and it can be found on the G6 Play. Basically, there's no clutter, just sheer beautiful craftsmanship. Moving on, we appreciate that Motorola understands the need to create a distinguishing factor between the power button and the volume rocker by simply adding a tiny texture to it. Now, while I like my headphone jacks up top, Vishal, who reviewed this phone, is an advocate of a bottom-facing headphone jack, so please let me know in the comments which one you belong to. So the fingerprint scanner on the Moto G6 Play sits right inside the Motorola logo. This is the place that was practically invented by Motorola with the first Moto X or the Moto G. This was always there in Motorola phones, and this was naturally the place for you to rest your finger, hence for the fingerprint scanner to be. But somehow Motorola took all this time to get the fingerprint scanner inside, but I'm glad that Motorola finally did it, and it is unarguably one of the most flashy things on the Motorola G6 Play. Motorola finally adopts the 18:9 aspect ratio on its mid-ranger, and we obviously like spending time with wide screens instead of traditional 16:9 aspect ratio displays. However, the Moto G6 Play feels much taller than other phones with the same display, maybe because of the big chins on top and bottom compared to other 18:9 screens in the market. It is also understandable that Motorola wanted the sibling G6 to have a better resolution display at 1080p for the extra $2,000, but due to the lower 720p resolution on the G6 Play, the viewing experience on this large 5.7-inch display suffers. You can see the lower PPI affecting the display experience because it really isn't that crisp. However, if you're not a part of the secret pixel peeping society, then I'm sure you'll find this display plenty sharp. On the other hand, the color reproduction and the viewing angles are pretty great. Motorola has managed to offer a pretty decent experience for a 720p display. However, let it be known that the G6 Play's display does not offer good brightness levels. So if you want to watch a movie while basking in the sun, don't bask in the sun. Motorola hasn't shared the details on the panel, but it's very unlikely that this is not an LCD screen. And therefore, it's surprising how the company still manages to achieve a good color vibrancy on it. The only thing that is annoying about the display is fingerprints, and there's no running away from that. The always on screen is pretty convenient and has come in handy most times. One of the strong points of Motorola phones is the software experience. If you like simpler things in life, I think you'll prefer the stock Android experience laced with tiny but resourceful embellishments. There is not much to talk about the default launcher. It offers a smooth transition effect and pretty intuitive user experience overall. But what we are interested to talk about is Moto Actions and Moto Display. These features can be accessed from the dedicated Motorola app. Apart from these features, it also offers suggestions like when to free up much space and when is the time to charge the device, or other suggestions which enhance your smartphone experience. For example, there are also a lot of gestures on the Motorola G6 Play, like the 3-finger screenshot where you just swipe 3 fingers and you get a screenshot. There is chop swap to turn on the flashlight or double twist to turn on the camera. There are also features like when you pick up the phone, it stops ringing, or you can also flip it upside down to turn the D&D mode on. So there are these tiny little features that Motorola offers which enhances your user experience drastically. In the age of AI-enabled cameras, Motorola is differentiating from its competition with no AI assistance at all. The company is doing what they do best, stick to the basics. With a single 13-megapixel camera on the rear, the G6 Play manages to achieve fantastic photography. When it comes to selfies too, the 8-megapixel snapper does its job fabulously with the support of an LED flashlight. Although a lot of us are fans of dual cameras and portrait selfies, we were surprised that the shooting experience using a single lens camera could be so good. We would like to give credit to the camera app for this incredible experience. Also, coming from previous generation models, the new camera app offers a far smoother transition between modes, and the camera app on the Motorola phones has been one of the things that's bugging the experience for a long time, and I'm glad that Motorola has finally fixed that. As far as daylight shots are concerned, we found them to be quite impressive. Even the slightest of the details are visible. The camera manages to maintain focus really well too, although shooting in low light doesn't yield the same fidelity. One could attribute it to the fact that it has a comparatively smaller aperture size of f2.2. For all selfie enthusiasts out there, the selfie shooter on the G6 Play will probably excite you. Whether you're capturing selfie portraits in a room full of natural light or not, it will offer a good output that you can post on social profiles without any hesitation. And if you want to record slow motion videos, you might like the fact that its default app also offers this feature, but the end result won't be as pretty as you'd expect. We are saying this from experience. We tried capturing many slow motion shots of the rain, but it all ended up looking too grainy, primarily because of the low video resolution capability. One of the recent phones we reviewed came with the same Snapdragon 430 processor that the G6 Play comes with, and it was priced somewhere around 7,999 rupees. In comparison, the Moto G6 Play is priced at rupees 11,999. It is surprising how the same processor can yield different results on different handsets, which is why I always say don't judge a phone by its processor, frame it. Many would think that Motorola could have either introduced a Snapdragon 600 series processor or priced the phone below rupees 10,000 at least. But what matters most is real world usage, not the numbers. We are pretty happy with the performance of the device, be it gaming or multitasking. The processor performs admirably, and we didn't face any lags to the point that we started wondering as to how that was happening, and that's when we realized that it runs vanilla stock Android 8.0 Oreo. No excessive bloatware or any sort of customization to slow down the processor is one of the big reasons why the experience is so smooth. Also, you'll find Dolby audio on the Motorola G6 Play, and Motorola has made the audio experience on this fairly affordable smartphone. The sound was quite clear and balanced with an adequate bass response too, and I think Motorola is offering the best experience possible at this price. Now finally, coming to the battery, there is definitely truth in the fact that Motorola makes it very convenient for you to forget your power banks at home. The massive 4000 mAh capacity battery gives a huge kick to battery life of the G6 Play. The icing on the cake is the turbo power charging, which takes less than 1 hour 30 minutes to completely charge the device from 20 to 100%. The fact that the first 50% is charged within 30 minutes is pretty awesome too. Our review style includes heavy consumption of videos on Amazon Prime or YouTube, as well as playing games a couple of times a day. For these extreme usage conditions, we got around 4 hours of screen on time, whereas on average usage it went about 5 hours, which is pretty good too. Now concluding the review, we get an elegant design, modern display, a dependable performance, good cameras, clean bloat-free software, and a long-lasting battery life. The Motorola G6 Play is a carefully crafted phone and is a stroke hit right for Motorola. Now the next question is, should you buy this phone? Now looking at other phones that cost as much as the Motorola G6 Play, we have phones from companies like Xiaomi and Asus, like the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 or the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5. If you're looking for sheer power, then the Zenfone Max Pro M1 and the Redmi Note 5 both have better processor. The Zenfone Max Pro review is linked up here if you want to go and check that out. So if you're looking to buy this phone, then you can get it for 11,999, and that is the 3GB RAM and 32GB storage variant. You'll find all the links in the description. Please let me know if there's anything that you want to know in the comment section down below. I guess that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sreehari from Mr. Phone, and I'll catch you in the next one.